You got Evan Ingram gone. Good freaking riddance.
Oh God.
I
Oh, God.
couldn't. I've been saying the Giants should have got rid of him for years. Good riddance. I hope he fails at the Jaguars too, respectfully. Um, Hello, everybody, New York Giants fans out there. Welcome back to another mother and son postseason show for the New York Giants. The first mother and son postseason show. We have a couple of topics to dive into because we haven't made a video in about 2 weeks. And as usual, I've had issues with work and then I got sick. Had to recover once again. Your boy's getting messed up out here. I think it's the Giants trying to mess with my overall health and well-being because I be talking too much trash about the Giants. But before we get into all those topics, we want you to do one very important thing for us.
We need you to subscribe to our little happy mother and son post-game show, post-season show channel. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that little bell. Also, go ahead and comment. Go ahead and do all the things that you're supposed to do. Go ahead and do it right now. Don't wait. Just don't wait. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, so there's some exciting news, and honestly, I feel like it can go both ways because you look at what the Giants are doing, and they're doing what they should have been doing since Dave Gilliman's dumbass left. And Joe Shane is, first of all, let me just, for what he's doing so far, he's doing a really good job. He signed 3 linemen, an offensive guard, a center, and a tackle. Now, the center himself, John Feliciano, can flip-flop between positions, which I like that because it shows that there's a little bit of versatility and some options that they might try to mess around with because they are trying to keep Daniel Jones and give him one last shot. You guys, if you follow our videos, you know how I feel about Daniel Jones from week to week. It changes sometimes. There are times where I'm like, okay, Daniel Jones did something great. This is promising. Then there are other times where I'm like, why the hell did we draft him? And it's usually more often that option than the first one. I have to go into this with one last year of hope and optimism that maybe under new management and new coaching, Daniel Jones will turn it around. Saquon himself, too, because Saquon hasn't been able to do anything without an offensive line. There's no protection, so how the hell are you supposed to run the ball with 8 people in the box? It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's not a really good equation for success. Getting a new line and restructuring the offense, I think, will give Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones that one last season to prove that this is something that we could do for the next, 4 to 5 years. Maybe more so focusing on Daniel Jones's length and longevity compared to Saquon's, because running backs don't have long longevity anyway. The whole point is that they're giving them one last shot. So they get these 3 linemen, and then they get rid of some players. And by get rid of, I mean they just chose not to re-sign them. You got Evan Ingram gone. Good freaking riddance.
Oh God.
I couldn't. I've been saying the Giants should have got rid of him for years. Like, honestly, after his second year, I was like, you know what? He should be done. His value was higher. We probably could have got a draft pick out of it. But you know what? It's fine. He was an unrestricted free agent this year, so we got rid of him. We didn't re-sign him. Good riddance. I hope he fails at the Jaguars too, respectfully. We've got the 4-headed monster of atrocity. Nate Solder's gone. Mike Glennon's gone. Kyle Rudolph is gone. And then obviously Evan Ingram is that one of the 4 heads. They're all gone. Nate Solder was terrible after that first year. He should have been gone. But we signed him to a ridiculous-ass contract thanks to somebody whose name I won't mention again because I can only handle but saying his name one damn time. But let's just kind of forget about the past. But, we're just reflecting on it one last time because we're getting rid of some key people. You've got Blake Martinez taking a pay cut, which is basically pulling a Tom Brady. He said, you know what? I will just take a pay cut if it means that we help the situation of the team to get better. That shows that Blake Martinez is a true team player. He understands that he lost value because he tore his ACL. So I respect that. And I respect him more as a player. May even buy his jersey next year. Who knows? We'll see. I almost bought James Bradbury's jersey, and he disappointed me, so I'm glad I didn't do that. But speaking of James Bradbury, they're probably still restructuring his contract. I haven't seen anything yet, but I would imagine that they're not going to get rid of him. He's going to take a pay cut, though, because of his regression. And I think it's deserved. He needs to prove that he deserves more money come next year. So
don't give these guys money that they haven't earned. Come on.
Jabril Peppers, I am not 100% certain what's happening with him. I would imagine he wants to stay because he's from New Jersey, and he wants to play for his home team. So he might restructure. He also was injured. He's coming off injury. Maybe he'll do what Blake Martinez did and take a pay cut. But what we're seeing here is that Joe Shane and the coaching staff are addressing the offensive line. They are addressing the quarterback situation. They signed Tyrod Taylor as a backup. Obviously, we can presume since they want to stay with Daniel Jones.
He's a viable backup.
Yes, actually has good experience. I think he has about almost 60 games under his belt, like 54 games or something under his belt, over 10,000 yards passing. Like, the guy is experienced and he's seasoned. as the mother likes to say, very seasoned. So
He's
it's good to have a
seasoned.
seasoned player that can take the mantle whenever our freaking unreliable quarterback drops the ball or gets hurt and can't play. So at least they're realizing what the Giants did wrong, and they are already proving that they're not going to just be the same Giants team that's been this way for the past 5 years, or if you
Exactly.
really want to get technical, the last almost 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm very happy as a Giants fan to say that I'm glad that I'm seeing those types of roster moves. And they
Hmm.
even added some depth in receiver. They're bringing back C.J. Board, which I think is great. C.J. Board was one of our best players last year, which isn't saying much
Yeah.
considering most of them were bottom of the barrel.
It's
But
true. Anybody could stand out when everybody else sucks.
yes, exactly. So, but to see him back on this roster shows that they are recognizing the people that did stand out too. They're not just going to get rid of everybody. But I like that they're bringing people from the Bills. They're bringing people from other teams. They don't care as long as there's new people and new bodies and a new voice. They know that the Giants fans will be satisfied. And right now, I'm satisfied. I'm a hard person to satisfy. Which let's move on to one last thing I want to highlight before I let the mother step in here. The fact that we only signed one tight end and got rid of everybody else. I think I was right about mocking a tight end. Don't be surprised if you see a tight end in the third or fifth or probably the fourth round. Don't be surprised if you see a tight end pick. If that tight end that I told you about in that last video, which you haven't seen, I'm going to leave in a link in the description. Make sure you check out that mock draft if you haven't. I definitely think we're going to get a tight end in the draft. Let's let the mother step in here and see what she thinks about these signings and releasings of some people.
You know, as a lifelong Giants fan, it's the ups and downs of being a fan, and these last few 4 or 5 years have been really, really a struggle because you could see the mistakes being made. I do think that the coaching team, the front office team that's in place right now, they recognize it's time to get ahead of the problems that they caused themselves. And some of these free agent moves, I think, are smart. We're in a situation again where we're grabbing a bunch of some guys that are well seasoned, but hopefully not with injuries like imminently in their past. Because a good deal of our roster are guys who are hurt every season. You just mentioned Jabril Peppers. He's been hurt pretty much since he's arrived on the Giants. There's still that we have to deal with, but I'm hoping that planning ahead and trying to get somebody who can step up at QB for when DJ goes down, because he's gone down every season so far, so why not this one? But at least Tyrod Taylor is not some bum and schmuck that has only had like 5 NFL starts. I mean, it's crazy. So
Jake Fromm.
I would have loved if the Giants actually had made a play for like a Teddy Bridgewater. I've been hoping for Bridgewater for a couple of years on the Giants. But Tyrod Taylor's he's a good QB to have on the bench. When you look at moves, and because that's the reason why Bridgewater was brought to the Dolphins, because of Tua's injury prone self. All I have is hope. I just have hope for the season, and I'm really looking forward to see what we do with our two within the top 10 two drafts that we have. Those draft picks should become something that can help our O-line. I'm hoping that's what happens.
We have to focus on the offensive line first. Last time I said we have to focus on the pass rush if Kayvon Thibodeau is available because he's a generational talent. But Ikem Ekwonu is a generational talent as well. You're not going to see many linemen like that. I think the Giants should go with Ikem Ekwonu first, if he's available. If he's available and there's still that guy, David Ojabo, as a pass rusher, forget him. Ikem Ekwonu first. But there was one last thing that crossed my mind when you were talking about injuries and how I talked about Jabril Peppers. I have one concern. Sterling Shepard. You're even lucky you have a spot, man. I'm going to be honest.
It's true.
I want to see him this is his last opportunity to show that he can be a receiver for the Giants, because he showed a lot of promise back in the Odell Beckham days. And I think it's partly because we had Odell Beckham. You always had to put 2 receivers on him. But
Right,
Odell Beckham
right.
leaving the Giants has exposed Shepard. We were forced to get a number 1 receiver in Kenny Galladay from the Detroit Lions, who, newsflash, had about 100 yards more than Kadarius Toney and the same amount of touchdowns. I need the Giants receiver corps to wake up and realize that this is the last year for them. Kenny Galladay's even lucky he got that $74 million. I would trade him away for a bag of cookies. I honestly, I don't think he's worth it. He's lucky he still has that contract. respectfully, I
He's
can't.
definitely. I feel he's lucky
I can't.
too.
He is. If he doesn't do anything this year, respectfully, he's dead to me. This is where we are right now, Giants fans. In terms of the offseason moves, we're all up to date. There aren't any other updates currently. I'm sure that'll change within the next few hours, but just know that this is the current update in terms of offseason moves right now. My feelings about the draft are still relatively the same. It's just it's gotten to the point now that the draft that I mocked, only one of those guys may be available, both at pick number 5 and 7. But
Son, I have a question for you.
yes,
What do you think of Kaepernick working out this week?
Kaepernick is a very sensitive topic for me because I could talk about Kaepernick for hours.
Do you think
I
that he
think
deserves a shot? That somebody's going to give him a shot?
I'm gonna say it like this: there's a quarterback by the name of Mike Glennon that threw for negative 10 yards in a game, and he still played the next game after that. Why does somebody who looks like he should just work at a McDonald's or something get a shot to play in the NFL, but somebody who has exhibited and proven that he could play at an elite level, albeit his accuracy was not fantastic, his athleticism was there. He had a decent spiral. It wasn't the greatest. Why can't someone like Colin Kaepernick, with the resume he has, getting rid of the whole kneeling and everything and the political stuff, why is he being denied for so long when you got people like Mike Glennon in the NFL literally taking up a roster spot, picking
It's
his
true.
butt and picking boogers out of his nose before he gets on the damn field? It don't make no sense to me. That's how I feel about it. That's the shortest way I could do it. Because I could sit here for hours talking about how you got other people who've been playing and are terrible. Giants fans, we're going to wrap up this video right now. We will most likely be putting out another video within the next week or so regarding any other changes that come out, because these will be just day-to-day changes and updates that happen. So we'll be trying to do our best. Hopefully I don't get sick again anytime soon. That'd be nice. And then we could, keep you up to date. Make sure you like and subscribe. And as I've said before, drop a comment. And make sure you share this video with your friends and family. Let them know about our family and how we need them to help make it grow.
Exactly.
It's very important
Yes.
that we keep growing this community. We are so very grateful for everyone that has been joining us up to this point. And we really do appreciate everyone that continues to support us. So please, guys, keep supporting us. Make sure you help us with that YouTube algorithm and have that notification bell turned on so you know when our next video is live and you can be the first one to watch it. All right, guys, that's it for now. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.